Hey guys, and welcome back to Comicreview47. Today we'll talk about part 2 of my 5-part Robin series. Today we'll be reviewing Jason Todd, the second incarnation of the Boy Wonder. Jason was probably one of the most disliked Robins due to the way they interpreted him in the comics. I say dislike and not hate, because he wasn't really hated entirely, but more on that later. DC Comics have been working on Nightwing with the Teen Titans, and they figured they needed a new Robin to ally Batman, and thus Jason Todd was added. He first appeared in Batman number 357, in which a small bit of his origin was told. This origin was almost identical to the first Robin's origin, although they only mention a part of his origin in this issue. Killer Croc hired a guy named Slick to deal with the owner of a circus whose name was referred to as Sloan. Killer Croc in the 80s was a much more intelligent character, so he was pretty good at being a crime boss. Anyways, Slick threatened Sloan to pay up if he didn't want something bad to happen to his circus. The price to pay was 10 grand, but Sloan refused to pay and kicked him out. Meanwhile, the Todds are performing circus acts in honor of the return of Dick Grayson. This origin pauses from here and continues in Detective Comics number 526 in May of 1983. This takes place a year before Nightwing's first appearance in 1984, so he's still Robin. But they're trying to set up Todd's origin so that he can be Robin and Dick Grayson can be Nightwing. Anyways, Killer Croc kills Jason Todd's parents because Dick Grayson asks them to help to track down Killer Croc. Things don't go quite according to plan, and Dick blames himself for the death of Todd's parents. Meanwhile, Jason Todd notices a door hidden behind an old grandfather clock. This seems a bit ridiculous because it's supposed to be a secret entrance, but whatever. He sees the Batcave and sees that Bruce Wayne is in fact Batman by looking at the Batman suit in the cave. Jason figured he was already in a lot of trouble anyways, so he took a prototype Robin costume and put it on. He heads out to an alley where he overhears a villainous plan nearby and wants to warn Batman. What happened instead was that Jason helped Batman with fighting Killer Croc. He's enraged with Dick Grayson and also blames him for the death of the Todds, but then forgives him and starts to cry. After this event, Jason got himself a Robin costume, also without Batman's approval, and he helps out with fighting the Joker. Batman likes that he helped out, but he still doesn't approve of him being the Robin. This happened in Batman number 366. Jason finally officially got a costume and donned the Robin persona in Batman number 368. What happened years later was that Jason Todd's origin was rewritten after Crisis on the Infinite Earths happened. He was still the same except for his origin story, which was explained in Batman number 408 in June of 1987. Jason was an orphan who stole some tires from the Batmobile and then punched Batman in the gut. Jason briefly escaped to his house and smoked a cigar. Batman sees that Jason is actually a nice boy, but misunderstood since he lives in the streets. Batman admires Jason's morals and enthusiasm and makes him Robin. He started to disrespect Batman and Nightwing a lot, and he also got more angry and careless throughout the years. Readers weren't quite happy about this, which eventually led to the events of A Death in the Family. This was a 4-part series in which Jason had quite the involvement with the Joker and the search for his biological mom. Readers actually got to decide whether Jason lived or died. There was a poll made in which fans could call and cast their vote. The final decision was very close, but it was decided that Jason would die. So what DC did was that the story was the same, but the outcome was varied. The Joker tricked Jason into searching for his mother at the place and time that was necessary. The Joker then proceeded to beat up Jason with a crowbar and tie him up along with his mom. He then set a bomb which killed them both and devastated Batman. This wasn't the end of Jason Todd, as he later returned from the grave. At first he was seen in the Batman Hush storyline, but it turned out to be Clayface all along. Batman checked out Jason Todd's grave, but his body wasn't there. Due to Superboy Prime altering reality, Jason was actually alive, although he was in a coma for a year. Ra's al Ghul took him into the Lazarus Pit to restore his memories, but this also made Jason insane and more violent. He made a persona for himself, also known as the Red Hood, in which he brutally murders people without regret. In the New 52, he joined the Outlaws, a team made up of Red Hood, Starfire, and Arsenal. At this point, he seemed a little more sane. This brings us to where he currently is, which is a DC Rebirth title. I will talk more about Red Hood in a future episode. Jason Todd has appeared most notably in the Under the Red Hood movie, in which he is depicted being beat up with a crowbar by the Joker.
So, let's try and clear this up, okay, Pumpkin? What hurts more? A or B? Forehand or backhand?
Check out these issues to learn more about Jason Todd, Robin. Is Jason Todd your favorite Robin? Leave a comment below and be sure to like and subscribe for more comic book videos. I'll see you guys next time.